So in this video I'm going to show how you can set up the TwitchPlay SNES emulator system that I've built. As you can see, I've already downloaded some files just for this demonstration, so I've got the release, which is linked to in the post or in the description, the SNES and 9X emulator, which I won't provide links to, but you can obtain from the SNES 9X website. You need to make sure it is the 64-bit version and you are running a 64-bit version of Windows. And I also have a ROM, in this case it's Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, purely for demonstration purposes. So once you have these files, you will need to extract your bot. I use 7-zip, you can use any file extractor, even the Windows one. It is a standard zip. Once you've done that, you can have the files on there. So as you can see, I've created the bot folder from that archive. So I go into it, we will need to configure the bot manager. How this works is you have this configure.json file. You can open this in any text editor. I happen to prefer Notepad++, it's nice and simple. And we'll see here the Twitch username, OAuth and channel name. This is set up so that your bot is actually a separate Twitch account from your channel. And this is done so it doesn't confuse chat, because the bot can speak in chat, so you don't want people getting confused between the bot and yourself. So I've already done that. I actually have a channel called Martin Barker and a bot called Martin Barker Bot. Once you've done this, you will need to go to the twitchapps.com/TMI site. That will give you a connect with Twitch button. Once you click this, it will ask you to log in. So this is where you need to log in with your bot account. Like that. And once you do, it will provide you with an OAuth key. So you copy this key, come back to your file, and you put it in OAuth. Your username is the username that the bot is to use, so in this case it's Martin Barker Bot, and the channel name is a hash symbol followed by the channel name you are going to be streaming from, all in lowercase. So in my case, my channel is actually Martin Barker like that, so I will need to switch the B to a lowercase and the M to a lowercase. Once you've done that, the configuration is set up for it to connect to Twitch. You can also here change the administration panel's username and password. I'll leave these as default as admin and admin for now. So once you've made those changes, you can just save and close this file. I've already saved it. Close the file. Once I've done that, the next thing I will need to do is I will need to put the SNES emulator in place. So I've gone into my plugins folder, my Let's Play SNES folder, and then into the X folder. The two things in here are how the Twitch bot system actually communicates to the emulator, so event emitter and Windows input. These are required for it to work correctly, but we will need to put the emulator in. So once you've done that, from the zip file that has the emulator in, you can just bring those files in. And it will be set up like so. Now, this is where things get slightly more complicated. If you do not have node.js installed, when you run this run.bat, it will error. So to download and install Node.js, you can go to nodejs.org/en/download/current and click the Windows installer. Please note this system only works on Windows because of the way it injects into the emulator. Once you've done that, download the installer, run the installer, and everything will be set up from there. Then you just double click this run.bat, and the first time it runs, it will actually download any necessary components that it requires to work from the Node system. So that's what it's doing here. Once it's finished that, it will say it's added, it's founded, and then you'll start seeing web server running. When it does that, it will open a browser window that just presents you with a login screen. This is pre-filled with the admin that you saw in the config file earlier. So if I click login, it will present this, and we want to go into the Let's Play SNES plugin. Once you can see, it doesn't have a ROM used, and therefore when I try and click play, it won't work correctly. It'll load the emulator, but it won't load a system. But that's okay, because for now, we need to make sure the input configuration is correct. So I have here the input configuration from the emulator, and on the left hand side you can see here, so I've got the command R here, we'll press the virtual key S on a virtual keyboard. This virtual keyboard is what is hooked up into the emulator via that event emitter that you saw earlier. From here, we can just check R, it sets to press the virtual key S, so the virtual key S here, keyboard S, will trigger the R button. So this is pre-configured correct for this setup. If you wish to customize these keys, you can do so, and then in here, you can, so say we wanted to customize left key, we can delete it, and we can add a new command for left, and these are automatically lowercase, so even if I was to do it like this, and set it to the left key, when I save it, it will automatically turn the command into lowercase. The same goes for any command issued from your Twitch chat. So if your Twitch chat says up with capital U or capital P or both capitalized, it will be turned into lowercase for the command to be checked against. So once I've done that, I have that there. I have the emulator running, but it's not running in a working state because I don't have my ROM file in. I'm going to exit the emulator. I'm going to come back to my downloaded files where I have a ROM. So again, inside my bot, inside the plugins folder and the Let's Play SNES plugin, I have a folder called ROMs. If I just paste the file into there, so the file is now inside the ROMs folder. When I come back to this, it will need reloading. Allows me to log in again, and I'll now see it has this file in here. So I can select that file, and now if I run the emulator, we'll see it's loaded the file correctly. So one thing to note is the emulator system will leave it 10 seconds to make sure the emulator is running successfully. Once it is, you'll see this switch turn to on, but you can't change it. But what it has done is allowed this switch to allow chat to send commands. So I have that there. I'm just going to open up my Twitch channel here. So Twitch TV/Martin Barker. And we will see my chat system there. I'm currently hosting someone. That'll stop if I was to use OBS and stream, so I will just cover that up for now. So while this is working, the emulator is running. So I'm now going to allow chat to send commands. When I do this, the bot will actually tell the chat that TwitchPlay controls have been enabled. So the game is running there. I'm just going to send the command of, let's send the B command into it. What will happen is the B command comes here, and the emulator has been targeted. So if I send the down command, we'll see the emulator has been targeted and it's issued the down button. Now if I was to turn off controls here, I'll bring this here so you can still see. Again, the bot has announced that the TwitchPlay controls have been disabled, and if I was to then send the down command again, we'll see it doesn't focus the emulator and it doesn't issue the command to it. So once you have this up and running and fully configured, you can let your chat go wild whilst playing your favourite SNES game, or whilst you watch them bundle around trying to play a SNES game. But I hope you enjoy it, and please do leave any feedback or comments you have in the comment sections below. And if you do have any feedback or potential features, please again leave them as a comment below and I will try to respond to you. Thank you.